Pittsburgh Steelers running back Kaleb Johnson hasn't really lived up to the expectations most fantasy owners have instilled on him. He was about a 7th or 8th round pick for a lot of fantasy owners. He was owned in about 85% of all fantasy leagues. So there was a lot of hope and a lot of potential given where he was taken in the draft, as well as his size comparables. Him being a 6'1", 225 running back really fit the mold of the past Steelers running backs. Guys like Najee Harris, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell all had very similar statues when coming into the league, and they all started right off the bat as rookies when they came to Pittsburgh. So there was a lot of hype around Kaleb Johnson being able to come in and produce basically immediately. However, with Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, who they picked up in the offseason, two running backs that are pretty similar in size and the way that they operate. I definitely think they have the right idea right now to keep Jaylen Warren as the RB1, but to me, it makes more sense to make at least Kaleb Johnson, to fit him in as the change of pace back, because he has a bigger size and he's just a bigger back than Kenneth Gainwell is. And I think they just need a little bit something extra. If they don't end up liking Kaleb Johnson and what he's been bringing to the table, I would and honestly could see them possibly trading for another running back. I'm not sure who it would be. Maybe it would be a guy like, I don't know, Miles Sanders or someone who's like an RB2 for a team. I know the Carolina Panthers have some running backs who might be available. They have Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Trevor Etienne. If anything, I wouldn't mind having a guy like Rico Dowdle, who's 5'11", 216. I think he produced pretty well for the Cowboys. Maybe they can make a trade offer with him if Kaleb Johnson doesn't work out. But for fantasy purposes, it's not really looking good for Kaleb, as he only had one carry for -2 yards, and he fumbled on one of his 5 kick return opportunities. So his stock is definitely down. People are dropping him. Me personally, I want to kind of see if they end up using him a little bit more, so I'm not going to drop him at this time. But if he's basically on the brink of being dropped on my team, and he's going to be someone who I'll keep looking after if I do eventually drop him in like 1 to 3 weeks. But to me, I'm holding on him just to see what their potential is, because I do feel like he does fit the mold, and it's the potential with the way that the running backs have played that he does get some more opportunities and can actually show like what he can actually do. So not the best foot forward for him, but for me, I'm holding Kaleb Johnson.